My name is Kay, and I'm a compulsive overeater. Abstinence is the most important thing in my life today. I weigh and measure 3 meals each day from the gray sheet, write it down, call it into my sponsor, and don't eat no matter what. Through God's grace, I've been able to do that since May the 30th, 1981. The topic of this is how to get through a power outage abstinently. I have been through 2 power outages recently. The first was the big freeze here in Texas. It was in February. I got the inspiration to go grocery shopping before the icy weather hit, so I had all my abstinent food for a week. But it needed to be cooked. My house is all electric. The power first went out around 9 a.m., then came back on in the afternoon. I started cooking my protein and vegetables. Because my kitchen sink was stopped up with ice in the drain pipe, I was running back and forth to the bathroom sink to wash my pots and pans. Then my power went out and stayed out for 5 days. I ate my 3 cold weighed and measured meals each day with candles and a flashlight. No hot food or drink. No coffee. I was so cold in the house. I put on about 4 layers of clothing, including a heavy winter coat that I hardly ever wear here in Texas. It was comforting to be able to text with my neighbors, with my local Gray Sheet friends, with my church and Al-Anon groups. Through these groups, I learned that I could charge my phone with my computer as long as it had some battery left. I put the food from the refrigerator outside in waterproof bags. It was colder there than in the fridge. Finally, after 2 days, and especially 2 nights, I agreed to be rescued by my daughter, whose house still had power. She drove her FJ Cruiser with big tires, the only way anyone could have driven on the icy streets. I packed up all my abstinent food, my bag with my scale, my computer and phone, and my cat Buddy with his food and litter. Then we lost water. At my daughter's house, we had been watching the weather and city websites, so prepared for this by filling the bathtubs with water for flushing the toilets. When my power was restored, I again packed everything up and got driven home. I was worried I wouldn't have any water for flushing toilets, so the first thing I did was fill some buckets with snow. When the water came back on, we had to boil it before using for drinking and washing dishes. I had a system worked out for that. During all this time of crisis, I was focused on my abstinence. Would overeating make the power come back on? Or make the cold go away? It would only make everything that much worse. The second power outage was recently, because of a severe storm knocking tree limbs on the power lines. The weather was hot. I read on my phone that food such as proteins and cut-up fruits and vegetables only last 4 hours in a refrigerator without power. My food had already been without power overnight. The next morning, I again went to my daughter's for a hot weighed and measured breakfast and coffee. I kept checking the power outage map, which showed power out in my neighborhood. This power outage, though it lasted only 2 days, seemed harder emotionally. I had residual fear from the previous power outage, and I had to throw away so much abstinent food. I still mourn that loss. This is a story of no matter what. We can do anything abstinently. with the help of God, our Gray Sheet program, and each other.
Hi, my name is Tyann, and I'm a compulsive overeater, and abstinence is the most important thing in my life without exception. I weigh and measure 3 meals a day off the Gray Sheet and call one of my sponsor. My new abstinent date is 2/12/2016. In Texas, we had an unusual situation happen to us because of an electrical situation that failed and an unusual winter weather storm that approached us. I felt a strong need to watch CNN, which announced the weather would bring snow. This is unusual for the state of Texas. Because of lengthy back-to-back experiences in GSA, and no matter what, I knew the 3 Ps, which were plan, prepare, and protect. And because my abstinence is the most important thing in my life, I knew I had to get ready for this big snowstorm arriving by Saturday. So I ordered my supply of food to be delivered Friday by the Instacart service. I made sure I found my can opener and ordered some foods with flip tops, like for fruit, vegetables, meats, and protein. My appliances were electric, so I would have to eat everything cold and perhaps flex cooked for raw vegetables if the food got hot and spoiled. Since it was 17 degrees inside my house, I could see my breath as I walked and decided I'd better charge my technology and learn how to charge my phone from the car, just in case. I went outdoors and got 2 or 3 phone numbers from neighbors and found all my flashlights, matches, and candles. I put on several layers of clothing and found my comforter. I called my sponsor and rearranged with her what to do with my food in case technology went dead. I called my uncle in Florida to tell him what the situation was and let him know when it started. I have no family in Austin. I live on a hill with ice on the streets and could not get out of the condo complex because all the streets dead end into a very busy road. My car might spin out, so I was stuck, especially since it had normal tires. I was so cold, even with layers on, I had to fix a meal, go get under the covers, wait till I was warm, and then go back and eat it. My teeth were chattering, so it took a long time to eat. As I ate my weighed and measured meal with one hand, I held the other over a candle to keep warm. All this was done by flashlight at night. Being so alone and fearing my phone would be useless and unable to drive anywhere, I realized how fearful I was. The only one who knew where and how I was in Austin was my sponsor and some other GreySheeters in the same situation. I prayed and read. That's about all there was to do. It became obvious to me that I could die from this, and maybe it would be too late to rescue me. And actually, some did die from hypothermia during this whole freeze. The situation lasted 2 days, and then the ice melted, and I was grateful I could drive to someone's house or a warming center. I probably wouldn't have done the second choice because I had not yet gotten vaccinated, and being at a shelter seemed to be a possible COVID spreader. I was lucky some people's pipes broke, some were flooded, and I had none of that, just 2 days of inconvenience, fear, and isolation. We really are a people that needs community for many reasons, and I was grateful for the simple things: a hot shower, no mold, no fires, a garage to keep my car warm, and no hail to make dents. I was grateful in abstinence.